I'm here at eTail with Glen Richardson from Fruugo, and we're discussing today about the customer-centric retailing and moving away from company-centric retailing. So I wanted to speak to you today about really what your thoughts are on customer-centric retailing and what Fruugo are doing to approach this.
Well, we want to put the shopper, in fact we do put the shopper right at the heart of the story, because they are the reason that we exist, and we're solving their problem, which is buying goods in other territories. So we provide a platform where they can buy in another language and another currency, and we ensure that we keep the shopper at the heart of the story. So we want to delight them, we want to exceed their expectations, we want to answer their queries quicker than they expect a query to be answered. We want to provide a service that they weren't expecting. So we take up every opportunity and every point during the whole purchasing journey, and we think, how can we delight this shopper? And that is really our key and core strategy.
And in terms of reviews, obviously this is a big part of working with the customer, finding out what they want. But if you're responding to each individual query or each individual review, how easy is it to maintain that?
It's very interesting, because we take quite an inward review kind of system. So we use a company called Zendesk, which is a ticketing platform, and a shopper can review their experience with Fruugo through this system, and then that review is then given to us internally, and we use that to improve our customer service. So we want to encourage people to tell us how they experience the service. So a customer review site may not give us an indicative view or a very honest view of our business as a whole, because not everyone will want to go out of their way to say something about the service that they've experienced, be it negative or be it positive. So with Zendesk, we get the positive and we get the negative constantly, and we can review that information and then change our systems and processes according to that feedback. So it could be the customer service was exceptional. However, I didn't particularly like the way that email was worded, or I think it would be nice if you accepted this payment method, which you don't currently accept at the moment, or I think perhaps if you did this, then I would have enjoyed the purchasing process a little more. And they're the type of things you don't get to see necessarily public facing on review sites.
And also, I suppose that if you're not getting them on review sites, you may be getting them across social media. So say if someone said a comment on Facebook about Fruugo and they mentioned that they didn't like your service, how are you responding to that, and how are you do you get notifications? How does that work?
Fortunately, we don't get any negativity on Facebook or Twitter at all. I haven't seen anything negative on Facebook or Twitter since I've been Chief Marketing Officer at Fruugo. So we use the channels of social media to actually engage with our community of shoppers, and actually we get a lot of private messages through both channels, product questions and otherwise. So we're very fortunate in that regard.
And do you have a large team who are actually dealing with this, just positively dealing with all of these reviews all the time?
It really is a shared job across the whole team, really, and we get really excited when we get lovely emails and messages on Zendesk, and we share that across the company, and we're very open about the positive things that we experience, because it's progress. You know, when we do something and it works out that it delights a whole load of customers, and that's really positive, and we like to share that amongst the team so that we can strive to provide a better service. But we also share the negative as well, and we look at how we can delight that customer, and put ourselves firmly in the shoes of that shopper and ask the question, would I be frustrated if I was in their situation? Probably. So what can we do for that particular shopper, and how can we prevent it from happening in the future? So it's about the long-term view. We're building this business to be a global multi-billion-pound company, and we want to trade in all countries, so that's our vision. So in order to do that, we have to ensure that the shopper is delighted.
It seems like a big plan, especially if your expansion. Do you think it's going to be easy to maintain that once you get expand to every single country?
It will be a challenge, and I'd be naive to say that it wouldn't be. But we've become very data-driven now. So we know which languages produce the most tickets versus sales. So for instance, for every 100 sales in Russia, there are 50 tickets created. That's 50%. so Russian-speaking language. Now, most tickets are created before the sale, so they are pre-sales questions, so they're not always post-sale questions. But whereas English and Dutch are actually sub 20% in terms of, if there was 100 tickets created, there'd only be like between 16 to 20 tickets created. So we know which languages will create the most burden for us, and we are expanding accordingly, and also figuring out how we can reduce the amount of tickets from language and countries that speak different languages like Russia. So how do we provide more information? Do we have enough articles on our knowledge base? Can we provide more products information? What can we do? So they're the questions we're asking ourselves, and we need to solve those before scaling, especially in those territories.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you very much. That was
No problem.
a very full answer. So thank you very much for speaking to us today.